Hello, I'm John Janarone, Editor-in-Chief of IPO Edge. Very happy to be back at the New York Stock Exchange. We have a terrific guest with us. He is George Kirby, the CEO of RS Technologies. George, thanks for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
So George, tell us a bit about RS Technologies.
RS has been in business for 20 years. We make composite structures for the electric utility industry. The electric utility industry is going through a lot of change with their infrastructure. They have old infrastructure with wood and steel, and our composite structures are resilient, they're safe, and they also bring a tremendous value to the ratepayers.
Gotcha. Tell us a bit about production capacity and how does that look operationally?
Yeah, so we are working with some of the largest utilities around North America, and right now we have 3 facilities. We have one in Ontario, Canada, we have one in Utah, and we're just opening a large facility in Texas. The idea is that we are building out capacity because of the demand that we're seeing for grid hardening programs that these utilities are having. There's opportunities in the future to open up more capacity as demand continues to increase.
Great. Now, George, you've been at the company for about 2 years. We're discussing the green room. I was interested to hear more about your background, and it actually was mostly in this sector, right?
Absolutely. I spent the vast majority of my career in electric utilities, serving electric utilities, spent a lot of time on the power generation side, developing power generation plants, and then moved into transmission and distribution, seeing the great opportunity and the need with our customers to build out new and more resilient grids. I'm an aerospace engineer by background and actually have a background in composites, interestingly. So working for a composites manufacturer, it's just a great opportunity to really be in a disruptive industry right now.
Great. Now, were you always on the business side of things, or were you actually an engineer in the beginning?
I'm an aerospace engineer by degree. I have an MBA, and spent the first part of my career engineering, and always enjoyed working with customers, and it kind of led me over to the business side.
Great. All right, let's talk innovation. So tell us a bit about RS's history and utility poles.
Yeah, RS started off as a resin formulation company for composites and transitioned to the market that is electric utility poles just because the demand is so large. It has been for a while. We're an extremely innovative company. We formulate our own resins. We've got material scientists, and it's really playing out as a major factor in differentiating ourselves from our competition and serving our customers.
Great. Now, as we all know, utilities tend to be monopolistic. So how does what you do impact the ratepayer? Because, of course, I can't go and choose which grid I'm on, right?
That's right. So you're right. Electric utilities are a regulated monopoly. The idea is that it's more cost effective to have a single utility serving a specific geographic region. In order to have the check and balance for ratepayers, you and I who use electricity, there's regulators that are called public utility commissions, PUCs. And those PUCs have a mandate, as do the utilities, to deliver the highest value to the ratepayers, which is a resilient grid, it's a reliable electricity, at the lowest cost.
Gotcha. Tell me how utility commissions factor into all this.
Right, so interestingly, our company is very much aligned with public utility commissions, with electric utilities, and the ratepayers, because we provide the most resilient solutions, infrastructure solutions, at the lowest total cost of ownership. Utility commissions are working with our utility customers to find new technologies, and that really gives us an opportunity to introduce and gain adoption for composites in an industry that's been wholly focused on wood and steel.
Gotcha. Now, my company has covered many companies in the renewables space. So we're talking wind, solar, you name it. How does that impact your business, this shift towards renewables?
It's huge right now. So not just grid hardening programs with utilities, not just aging infrastructure that we need to replace on an ongoing basis, but the drive towards net carbon zero by 2050 is a mandate for all utilities in the United States and North America abroad. The build out of generation requires transmission and distribution. So not just hardening the grid and making it more resilient, but actually adding more transmission and distribution capacity. The demand for power is off the charts. In some jurisdictions, we're hearing that it's 2 times the current power demand. We go to market with the following value propositions in mind: total cost of ownership alongside of the most resilient infrastructure. This really puts us in alignment with the ratepayers all the way through the entire value chain.
Gotcha. You know, I've got to ask, George, if I might, we've interviewed a few companies that talked about how buildings or even individuals in their garages might store power and put it back into the grid. Is there a future in that? I mean, it seems like a wild idea to me, but I guess if you've got enough solar panels and you're generating enough energy and you don't need it, is that going to impact your industry in any way?
Absolutely. That's a very material factor in our business, because if you think about it, if every garage has an electric vehicle and a charger, you're going to have more infrastructure up on the poles.
Yeah.
You're going to have more transformers, heavier conductors. So because of that, you're going to need heavier poles and towers to hold all of this infrastructure. So you have aging infrastructure that's crumbling, that needs to be replaced, and you need to go up in size and strength.
So George, tell us tell us about your growth trajectory. What kind of new initiatives are on the table right now?
Great, thank you. Let me tell you about the market itself. Right now, there's over 170 million poles and structures in North America. The vast majority are wood. The vast majority are over 50 years old, so they need to be replaced. Every time a hurricane rolls through, you're replacing thousands and thousands of these poles. On average, there's about 100,000 poles a year that need to be replaced because of hurricanes.
Right.
That's aside from wildfires, icing damage in the north, woodpecker damage in the north, if you can believe that as well. So there's this huge building market that's going to be decades long for these utilities to replace and harden their grid. That really gives us an opportunity to serve our customers in a long-term way. So we're opening up this Houston facility. We're also looking at opportunities in the future to continue to meet our customers' demand by building more capacity.
That's interesting. So down in my neck of the woods in Florida, of course, we were sadly hit by Hurricane Ian, destroyed orange groves, lots of power infrastructure, you name it. When it's being rebuilt, is it being built better when it comes back so it's more resilient against the next hurricane?
Absolutely. Electric utilities are looking at using what's called engineered structures. So that can be steel, that can be concrete, that can be composites. The reason why composites are turning out to be the favored material is because of things like corrosion with steel. You put steel in a saltwater environment, you're going to see corrosion. Similarly with concrete. So it's really just a superior material. I mentioned before that composites are a disruptive technology in industry. We provide a disruptive technology within the electric utility space.
Great. Last question here, George. Any plans for the future you want to tell us about? You're a private company now. Any changes on that front? Tell us what you guys are thinking.
So we are owned by the Workland family office, majority owner, and a minority owner is Energy Impact Partners. We're fully capitalized. We're able to expand our capacity as demand continues to grow. There might be a capital raise down the road, but we're just looking to really keep pace and continue to serve our customers with flawless execution and high quality products.
All right, George, we're going to leave it there. This has been George Kirby, who is the CEO of RS Technologies. This is John Janarone, Editor-in-Chief of IPO Edge, signing off the New York Stock Exchange.